All right, let's move on to New York Giants against the Washington Football Club. 67 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 4 miles per hour. Gorgeous weather in Washington. Beautiful weather. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still on first half. Let's move over to full game. Give you the spreads and totals here. This total opened up at 43, down to 41.5. Washington opens up as 3.5-point favorites. It's now down to 3. Giants are in a short week after their 25-23 home loss to the Bucs. Interesting game. I lost money on it. Jones was 25-41 for 256 yards, 2 TDs, 2 interceptions. He's now throwing 9 interceptions this season after throwing 12 last year. He did lead a late drive that was beautiful. This is an improving Giants squad. There's no doubt about that. Improving in all facets of the game other than their running game. Sterling Shepard, 8 receptions for 74 yards. Ingram, 5 receptions for 61 yards. Slayton, 5 for 56. Their defense was strong. They held the Bucs to 344 total yards, 4 for 12 on third down. They look better in every facet of the game, but their running game is atrocious. Gallman ran 12 for 44. Alfred Morris, we got an Alfred Morris sighting, 8 carries for 28 yards. Devontae Freeman remains questionable. Cornerback Ryan Lewis, safety Adrian Colbert, excuse me. Don't get Canadian. He's not French Canadian. Wide receiver CJ Board are all questionable as well. Let's start with the Giants. What do you think after the Monday nighter? And can we abuse the public's perception of them against against a Washington team that's off of a bye?
Yeah, I think there's a possible look there. I'm not a big Giants guy, and they've been horrible for a few years in a row now. I still have little to no faith in Daniel Jones. I think the problem with him is protecting the ball. He fumbles too much. He throws too many picks. He does throw a nice ball sometimes, and he's very clearly athletic sometimes. But their defense, the Giants' defense, is quietly coming together. I think if they continue to get good parts and fix them in, they will have a better defense soon. They have impressed me at times. I'm not excited about it. And I also I've spoken all year about how much I like the Washington Football Club, or one of the Washington Football Team. I like their defensive front. Their front seven is talented. They don't have much of a secondary, and they have a horrendous offense. So this is 2 defenses that can actually play a little bit in a horrendous division. And that's really all either of these teams have going for them right now.
that was a sad, sober breakdown.
Yeah, sorry. That's all I have to say.
So sad. Washington's coming off their bye week. We last saw them in a resound. Let's talk some excitement. This Washington team. Now, look, Rivera making a decision on their quarterback that may have separated the room. I don't know what it did to the room. I have no idea what it did to that locker room. But they're coming off a 25-3 win at home. Their defense that you just spoke proudly of, 6 sacks, a pick, a forced fumble that became a safety. They snap a 5-game losing streak. They allowed just 142 total yards. I know it's a bad Cowboys team. They put up 397. They win a game by double digits for the first time since November 2018. Washington was the last team this season that didn't have a rusher of over 60-plus yards. Antonio Gibson did that in the first quarter. He runs for 128 in the game. As a team, Washington picked up 208 yards on the ground, allowed 83. Allen, 15-25, 194 yards, 2 TDs. McLaren caught 7 passes for 90 yards, 1 TD. Landon Collins injured his left ankle in non-contact fashion. He limped off. He's done. Anytime you hurt yourself just, alone, you're done for the year. Montez Sweat had 2 sacks. He's evaluated for concussion in the second half. I expect him to be back. This, to me, is another situation. And let's see what my record is at the end of this week, or with this week's games, because there's so many situations to me that are absolutely perfect. And this is one of them. We all see the Giants play very well against the Bucs. We haven't seen the Washington football team in 2 weeks. This is all Washington all the time for me. Is this crazy, Bebsy?
I mean, how do you confidently bet on the Washington football team right now? There's my problem with this. I don't think you're wrong. I do think that, yeah, the public is going to be high on the Giants because they held on tight with Tampa, but they're still playing Washington. So I don't know, man. It's hard for me to get it. This is another game of two garbage football teams. And yeah, that front seven, they are going to eat Danny Dimes up. What's the point total in this game?
Well, that's what Cappers in the chat are talking about right now, whether that under is what should be looked at. Opened at 43. It's now at 41.5 across the board, but the leading indicator books have already moved it to 41.
Yeah.
Nathan Cerna says this game screams under.
Yeah, I think you got to get on this now. Wish you could get in earlier. Still okay to get in now. I don't see much scoring at all in this game. Unless it's, that defense picking up Daniel Jones's fumbles and running him in.
Pineapple Cook says, call me crazy, but Washington's best team in the NFC East. Wentz is overrated. Decent quarterback. Washington wins the division. I can't remember if it was Dennis or Birdie. One of them has a bet on the Redskins to win the division at like an astronomical price.
I don't think that's crazy at all. I really don't. I think Washington – look, they actually have a very good defensive front. Not much else there, but that goes a long way. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's another position group in that conference I think is better. Or sorry, that division, I mean. The conference, yes. But
oh, yeah, Birdie's got it 11-1. I'm not going to take the under. Although I like it. If I had free play, I would. I am going to take Washington as soon as this show's over at -3. I do not expect it to go to 2.5.
I'm going to take this under.
You are? Okay, let me launch up for you.
It screams under to me. Wish I could have got a little bit more out of that. Got in earlier, but I still like it.
All right, let me get it for you right now. Line shopping here, odds.com. The under. Let me find it. Here we go. The under is 40. Oh, there is a 42. There's a couple 42 still on the board. FanDuel's 42, -118. Fox Bet at -110. I can give you under 42 at -110 at Fox Bet.
Fox me up, baby.
Bebsy under 42, -110 at Fox Bet. And I will be sitting back, relaxing with a bet on the Washington football team. Real Jolly Roger says this under is only going to go down. Alvin Smith says, be careful, Giants don't quit. Look, I love it, Alvin Smith. I'm going to take advantage of everybody's subconscious. We all just saw the Giants play very well against a very good Tampa Bay Buccaneers squad. I'm going to take advantage of that. And I love it. And there's so many spots like this on this card that made me so excited. All right, those are the 1 p.m. games, Bebsy. Those are the 1 p.m. games. We sure took a lot of time to break them down. That's my fault. But